Ripoffs are everywhere. We see them all the time in gaming and in movies. So what happens when you combine a ripoff of both of those things? You get this piece of Freddy's Fridays. Gee, I wonder from a title like that what it could be ripping off. Yes, obviously from the title and even the poster for this film, you notice it has a small resemblance to Five Nights at Freddy's. And when I say small resemblance, I mean more blatant than EA selling you half a game. It's no surprise that FNAF would be the target of a ripoff though, considering the game's sales and popularity. Not to mention the amazing box office that the FNAF film brought in. So sadly, it makes sense why this exists, and capitalizes on the hard work Scott put into his franchise. Looking at the reviews for this, lack of a better word, movie, the scores reflect exactly what I would think a movie like this deserves. Is it the worst ripoff movie of a video game franchise? Let's have a look at Freddy's Fridays. The movie starts out in what I'm assuming is England. I can't quite tell where. If there are any people in the comments, maybe you can recognize where this is and tell me. We see a guy named Todd. He'll be our main human villain. Doesn't he just ooze screen charisma? He's out on the town with a girl and they're talking about having sexy time and going back to his place. Todd takes the girl to this rundown warehouse basement with ritualistic candles, a book made of skin, and dolls lying around. Listen, I don't know about the rest of you, but I think Todd has a couple hundred red flags going off right about now. So Todd tells her to read a passage from the book. However, she says it's in Latin and doesn't speak it. Todd tells her to just sound it out, so she does. After reciting what was in the book, we get our first look at Freddy and the other, not sure what to call these. Are they just monsters, demons? I don't have a clue. See, at least in FNAF, you knew that they were animatronics. Yes, they were possessed, but they were still animatronics. In this, I have no idea what these are supposed to be. So let's talk about the looks of these things. They're all pretty stupid looking and generic. Freddy looks like, I don't know what he looks like. Is that a lamb? A bunny? It's sure as hell not a bear. Then you have the generic looking clown, a scarecrow, and this little piece of nightmare fuel. Yeah, out of all the monsters in this, that's easily the creepiest looking one. Todd throws the girl into them, and I cannot show you what happens next because I'm sure it's against YouTube's regulations. But let's just say by the time it was over, she couldn't pull herself back together. I guess that's the one big difference between this and the FNAF film. This one is much bloodier, but to me, FNAF was never meant to be bloody and gruesome. Yeah, gruesome stuff does happen in the franchise, but it's more explained to you rather than shown graphically. That's why FNAF has such a large audience and an age range. It has something for everyone in terms of scares. And that's why that works and this doesn't. This movie is just a low-grade slasher film. After her death, Todd says to them 2 more and walks off. Now we get introduced to our protagonist, whose name I had to Google search because I didn't even care to remember. Leela. Yeah, I wish it was that Leela. Leela is a police detective who's been researching the girls who have gone missing, and realizes all the girls who have gone missing have been escorts. She brings this up to her boss, who doesn't believe that it's anything worth following up on, and says when it comes to girls like this, these things just happen, and that he's been on the force long enough to know this. Actually, I don't need to be on the force. I've seen Taken, and you're an ass. So color me surprised when the stereotypical boss doesn't believe the main character doesn't help her out. So Leela takes matters into her own hands and meets with the lady in charge of the escort service. She explains to Leela that the girl who went missing was with a guy named Todd Fisher. With that piece of info, Leela goes home, and we meet her friends who are totally not going to get killed during this movie. We meet her boyfriend Johnny and her roommate and best friend Jessica. Johnny tells Leela that he wants her to stop pursuing the case because he's worried she could get hurt. Johnny, what did you think was gonna happen when you decided to date a cop? He also tells her that solving this case won't bring back her sister who went missing when she was younger. Now, where have I seen this plot point before? Missing sibling when they were kids, struggles with it when he's older. Jeez, it's honestly not even like they're trying to hide it. Also, this plot point goes nowhere, it's just brought up to be here. Anyway, her friend Jessica believes she can solve the case and tells the audience that she's a social media influencer. And seeing as how she is a social media person, Leela asks Jessica to search up anything she can find on the internet about Todd, since that's her area of expertise. Really? Don't you have like a database you can look up this guy on? Are you not a police officer? All Jessica is going to do is use Google. You can do the exact same thing. After that, we see Todd again, and he's with another girl that he brings back to the warehouse and gets her to read the same passage again, summoning Freddy. Freddy and friends kill her, and Todd is off to get another girl for next Friday. That's another thing I should mention. Todd has to sacrifice these people to Freddy on a Friday. I have no idea why, and neither does the movie.
Why Friday? Maybe he's busy during the week, and I don't care.
Listen, movie, if you're not interested in giving me an explanation, why the should I be interested in you? It's honestly frustrating how low a bar this movie sets for how much effort is put in. Then when you look at FNAF, even if some people may find Scott overdoes it, he puts so much time and effort into story crafting and the lore and how it ties together with leaving clues, but also giving you enough information to want to theorize about what means what. This movie doesn't care at all. They were just like, Five Nights at Freddy's. What's a title we could use that sounds similar? How about Freddy's Fridays? If we do that, both of those start with an F. And that's exactly what I give this damn movie, an F. Anyway, Leela followed the last girl who was brought down to the warehouse by Todd, and she steals the book and brings it back to her place. Once she gets home, Johnny tells Leela that he will always be by her side.
I'll always be there for you, okay? No matter what. And Satan couldn't stop me.
Yeah, he's dead. Then Johnny unknowingly reads the passage that the girls read and goes home. Seriously, out of all the pages and words in that freaky looking book, you chose the one sentence that was going to kill you. Really, movie? You expect me to buy that? Anyway, Johnny goes home and gets a splitting headache from Freddy. Leela goes back to tell her boss that she followed Todd and the other girl down into the creepy ritualistic room and there was blood everywhere. But because Leela didn't actually see anything, he blows it off and doesn't care. Okay, maybe you can't press charges on Todd yet? I don't know, but could you at least check the damn place out first? As she's arguing with him, she receives a phone call telling her Johnny is dead. She tries to enter the room, but the officer there won't let her. Again, she's a cop, isn't she? Wouldn't she be allowed at the crime scene? Maybe they know how important he was to her, and he wants to save her from looking at what happened.
He cut off his head.
Oh, you're just gonna straight up tell her how horribly her boyfriend died. Okay, never mind. Thanks for not being subtle. Leela goes home now and blames herself for what happened. She can't get over Johnny's death, but the audience definitely can. While Leela is grieving, she wakes up from a nap to find Jessica researching the book, and Jessica speaks the death sentence too. I don't get it. I really don't. A million other things to read in there, but everyone decided to read that one specific part, and it's not even the beginning of the book. It's on some random middle page. Leela then knows she has to put a stop to Todd and Freddy on Friday. Again, movie, what was the reason behind Friday being important?
Why Friday? I don't know. Maybe he's busy during the week, and I don't care.
Got it, thanks. After a few days, it's Friday, and she poses as an escort so that Todd takes her to the hideout. While Leela is out, Freddy comes to collect because Jessica read the passage, and Jessica tries the approach of "there's no place like home." However, Kansas clearly doesn't give a We cut back to Leela and Todd freaks out because the book is missing. Leela says she stole it, but Todd doesn't seem to care because he memorized the passage. Hey Todd, you still have a problem there, buddy. Leela knows the passage will kill her, and even if she didn't, what are you going to say? Repeat after me? You cannot be that stupid. There's no way you're gonna...
Now, repeat after me.
I stand corrected. He is that stupid. After Todd is killed, Leela runs home and finds Jessica is a mess. After she screams, we see her boss walk in her room and he's freaked out. He wants to know what's going on or he'll place Leela under arrest. Sure, now you want to know. Leela explains everything to him and that she needs his help to stop Freddy once and for all. Question movie, why not just burn the book or throw it in a blender or flush it down the toilet? Well, Leela has a better plan. She and her boss go into the Chamber of Monsters armed with a golf club and a baseball bat. You're police officers! Where are your guns? Leela tells her boss to read from the book to summon Freddy so they can kill him. I would have been like, it's your crusade, you read from it. Then when Freddy and pals show up, they begin to beat them with their weapons. Her boss gets injured and so does she, but they end up defeating all the monsters. Cut to the two of them on some steps together, looking into the distance. Then we cut to Freddy pulling out the cleaver from his body, still being alive at the end. Roll credits. What a terrible movie. Yes, I know it was going to be terrible, but it wasn't even funny terrible. It was just pathetic terrible. Everything in this film is just a carbon copy of Five Nights done worse in every possible way to try and trick people into thinking it's the real FNAF. Even in the credits, they have a guy named Scott First. Are you serious? And this isn't even the guy who's the director of the movie. movie. Screw this movie. The effort Scott puts into his lore and characters is honestly admirable, and it's a shame garbage like this exists to try and capitalize off of his hard work. Don't watch this movie and keep loving FNAF. Thanks again for watching and have a great rest of your day. Nath out. Congrats on making it to the end. If you're into creepy lore or just scary stuff in general, try making it through this video next, right over here. And also punch me right in my subscribe button so I can continue to entertain you. Thanks again. See you soon.